Alright, so now we're trying to find percents. These have an extra little hitch in there. So let's go through and write this out as our equation. So 64 is what percent, so I'm going to put a P there to remind me it's a percent of 80. 64 is what percent of 80. So now to solve this equation, my variable is being multiplied by 80, so I need to divide both sides by 80. 64 divided by 80 gives me 0.8 would equal P. Now, think back to when we were doing these before. When we were given the percent and we were writing the algebraic expression, or the equation, we changed that percent to a decimal. So this is the decimal. I want to write it as a percent. So 0.8 would be equal to what percent? Well, that would be 80%. Okay, move the decimal 2 places to the right. So when you're finding the percent, you've got to remember to do that. If it's asking what percent, I want it written as a percent. Okay? We're going to look at the same problems as solving percent problems with proportions, but this time we're going to do it by equations. I personally like this kind better. Okay? So we're starting out with looking at this as a verbal expression, okay, that it's using words. I want to change that into an algebraic equation. So going through here, I want to think about what each part means. Okay, so let's start with 75%. So with 75%, that remember when we're dealing with other numbers and problems, we want to look at that as our decimal. So I'm going to change that into the 0.75. Okay? So of is my keyword to multiply. I'm going to use an X here. Actually, I'll use a dot because we're going to have a variable coming up. So 0.75 times what number? Well, that's my key. That here's what you're trying to find. So this is my variable. Pick a number. We were using, or pick a letter. We're going to use n since it's what number. So 0.75 times n is equals. Okay? That 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That is means equals, and then 12. So I just went through here, did everything in the same order it's written, and now I have an algebraic equation. 0.75 times n equals 12. Now let's just solve this equation. Here's my variable. It is being multiplied by 0.75. So to solve this problem, if you want to do your backbone or your lines down, we want to divide both sides by 0.75. Because multiplying and then dividing by 0.75 cancel each other out. So on this side we're left with our n. Then figuring out what 12 divided by 0.75 is, it gives me 16. So if we go back and look, 75% of 16 is 12. Yeah, that would make sense. About 3/4 of 16 would be 12. Alright?